This is Jonathan Agger with Pro Boxing Fans. We're here in London for the press conference, first one for Eubank Jr, Liam Williams, December 11th. Huge grudge fight, Adam. It got not spicy, but you can tell there was a bit of tension up there. What did you make of the first press conference?
Yeah, that's right, Jonathan. It was great. I mean, ultimately, I thought Liam might put a little bit more pressure on him, but yeah, sometimes things change when you're up on that dais, and I think we'll get more tension probably on fight week when they're making weight. They don't like each other. They're different characters, different personalities. In many ways, it reminds me a bit of Froch and Groves, that they just are never going to hang out together, are they? Even now, Carl and George have sort of, put the bitter rivalry behind them, and they sort of, in quotes, are friends. They're not going to hang out at Christmas together. They're just different people. But I think that adds to the tension, the spice of a fight, and it's a great fight. It's the best British fight of the year. It's a blockbuster. Delighted it's on Sky Sports. We worked really hard together to make sure that happened. It was a difficult fight to get over the line for many reasons, but mostly that the fighters deserve huge money for this. It's a big risk for both of them. So the finances were big, and we needed to make sure that everyone was happy. And it's a complicated one because, of course, our deal is with Boxer, but Chris Eubank's with Wasserman, so it's in conjunction. Kala, Nisse, Fari, everyone on that side needed to be happy. Chris needed to be happy. Ben and his side, John Wishusen, everyone needs to be happy, and we at Sky did. So it was more complicated. But, we're used to these things in boxing, and some of them get through and some don't. And this one did, and it was fantastic when it was all signed. And, delighted with the announcement and the head-to-head today. It's going to be a fantastic night on December the 11th.
I spoke to Kala about this, and I asked him, and he said to me, I'll let you know after the fight, but where do you rank this in terms of the all British fights you've been involved in?
Yeah, look, it's just a great fight, and that's why I love it, because you can't guarantee a winner. Yes, Chris will say it's not a 50-50 fight, but a lot of people fancy Liam Williams in this fight. And from the fans, the fans talk and they say that this is the one we want to see. So I think it could be an absolute barn burner of a fight. I mean, we've seen terrific British title fights over the years. We've seen pretty terrific European title fights, world title fights, and we've seen all sorts of Southern area fights. Spencer Oliver, my mate, and Patrick Mullins giving us a classic at Southern area level. British title fights. You're looking at Jamie Moore, Matt Macklin, Alex Arthur, Michael Gomez. Some massive European nights, world titles. I mean, a whole huge amount. So we don't know, but what it does do is it starts up a rivalry maybe as well. So if one is great, you could go again. Look at what, Chris's dad made a career out of that sort of stuff, rematches, the Nigel, Chris, Michael Watson, Steve Collins, all those fights, fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, it could be, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but it could be one to add to the list.
People have said in the build-up this fight being in Cardiff is an advantage to Liam, but when you look at both men's careers, they've both challenged for world titles unsuccessfully, and both have very good rankings in the governing body. So is the pressure on both here because of what's at stake in this fight and the consequences of losing?
There's pressure on both, but I'd say there's more pressure on Chris Eubank Jr. He's the one with the deal with Sky and with Wasserman and with now with Boxer 2, with that whole sort of, he's the one that should be going forward in 2022 into the big world title fights. So I guess there's more pressure, and Liam's just coming off that defeat to Demetrius Andrade, so he has to rebuild slightly. But there again, if Liam wins the fight, it could be a rematch, or there could be Liam having another crack at the world title. So there's a great deal on offer for the pair of them, but I'd say probably the pressure is more on Chris, but he loves that. And I think you talk about the advantage of the Welsh crowd for Liam. I think it gives both of them the advantage in a way, because Liam will be happier being at home with the roaring fans, and Chris will be happier going into the Lions' Den because he just loves doing that. He's no problem doing it. He's done it before. He's like his old man like that. Chris Senior was an expert at going in there and just playing with the crowd. A ring's a ring for Junior. And I think he just wants to go in there. He believes he's better than Liam Williams, and he wants to go in and, as he said up there, obliterate him. And Liam's got other ideas, and as always, the truth will be in the ring. But I think both will be happy. I mean, Chris had no problems going to Cardiff. I don't think he cared. Whereas Liam, I think it's really big for him, and obviously it's fantastic for us to go into the Cardiff arena and see all the Welsh fans again, and hopefully get some of the great fighters over the years out, the Steve Robinsons, the Robbie Regans, the Joe Calzaghes, the Enzo Macronellis and Nathan Cleverleys. We want them all down there because we've got a special bond over the years with Sky and Welsh boxing, and I'm delighted to be crossing the bridge to go back.
Prior to the fight being made a couple of weeks ago, we were still around here discussing the fight, and you said you wanted this fight on Sky Sports.
Yep.
There had been rumours, obviously, potentially on pay-per-view. Was it important from your end, and what was the decision behind this fight not being on pay-per-view?
I think it was the most important thing that I said repeatedly to Ben, to Calla, to my bosses at Sky, that this is a Sky Sports fight. And I'm delighted that it is. We were always going to go on December the 11th. We were thinking of going with Claressa and Savannah. Savannah's got a slight injury, but Claressa still fights December the 11th. But we moved it all to Cardiff because we got this over the line. This is a Sky Sports fight and a Sky Sports night. And I'm really, really encouraged that it's going to go out to a huge audience a couple of weeks before Christmas. I think with Josh Taylor's fight moving, also on Sky Sports, not on Box Office, against Jack Catterall to February, I felt we really needed a big statement of intent in December. And I think that between the collective parties, we've done that. So yeah, it was really, really important for me to push that. Sometimes you win these things, sometimes you don't. And as I said, there's a lot of money involved, so it's a very, very hard fight to put together. But I think the fans, the customers are the winners here, and hopefully they love what we offer on December the 11th. And don't forget, we've got Lomachenko and Commey from New York afterwards. So like this weekend, it's a double header, a marathon night.
Show clashes, I guess, are never ideal, but seem to be becoming more unavoidable with so many promotions and shows going on. From Sky Sports' perspective, obviously, Matchroom have their Conor Ben Algieri show that night as well. Could there be a situation where, you know, the fights, the main events don't clash with each other?
Well, there could be. We have to work out and see what we want to do with it. Basically, I think you're right. I think sometimes clashes are inevitable. We were always going to go December the 11th. That was public knowledge. Eddie's gone and put a show together for Katie and Conor. We wish them well with that, obviously, but our focus is on Eubank-Williams. We think it's the biggest fight of the year in Britain, so we're very happy that it's happening on December the 11th in Cardiff. And I think, as Eddie knows, and Ben knows, and Calla knows, and everyone in boxing knows, around Christmas time, arenas are very tough to get. You know, we were looking at a likely clash as well with the Parker Chisora Josh Taylor night, but you know, we can't go that night, so that sort of clears the way. They're not ideal. I mean, listen, I worked with Katie and Conor for years. You know, we'd all love to see each other's fights, etc. And sometimes it's not. But we've got a business here and we've got a platform. And Eddie went to DAZN, he's doing his thing, and we've got to do our thing. It's not ideal, but with arenas difficult at Christmas, with scheduling very hard, with the celebrity, I'm a Celebrity, with Strictly, with everything that happens with Christmas viewing, it's very difficult. We've worked very hard to select December the 11th as a fight that works for us at Sky. And we go with it with not only Eubank and Williams, but also Claressa Shields defending her world titles in her British debut. It's a fantastic double header. I don't know which I'm more excited about, both of them. It's fantastic. You've got Steve Robinson, you've got Bradley Ray, you've got Rhys Edwards, you've got so many on the card as well. I think it's going to be an absolute firecracker of a night on December the 11th. And all we can do is what we do. And look, obviously we'll be looking at what happens and results and that. But fans, it's difficult when you go up against each other. It doesn't happen a lot. Clashes are occasionally inevitable. But the good news is that fans and fighters are both benefiting from the broad range of broadcasters, streaming services and promoters at the moment. And that means boxing's in a great place.
Claressa Shields, as you said, is on the bill. Obviously, Savannah Marshall's injury can't be helped. But is that all gearing towards them two meeting early next year?
I would like to see, first of all, I cannot wait for Claressa Shields to come over here. I've worked with Savannah Marshall for many years, but I'm a big fan as well of Claressa Shields and what she's done for boxing. She's amazing, and she's a character, and the more characters in boxing, the better. She gets to showcase her skills and her talent in a tough fight against an unbeaten fighter in Cardiff. Obviously, we'd like to get Savannah down there. And then I think we go with Savannah again in February, early sort of, or late winter, early spring. Get her out in Newcastle. Maybe we can get Claressa to come over and do a bit of commentary or something, and we'll keep the pot bubbling. I'd like to see the two of them fight in the spring, maybe next year. And dare I dream, dare Ben Shalom dreams, dare Savannah and Claressa dream, we go open air at St James's Park. And why not? Newcastle's bouncing again. It's a sleeping giant of a sporting city. They absolutely love boxing up there. And people might think we're mad, but I tell you what, we did Tony Bellew at Goodison. Why can't we do Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields at St James's Park at the end of the season? Wouldn't that be something?
Absolutely. Saturday night, you got a show, Richard Riakporhe headlining, and then you go straight into Crawford-Porter.
Yep.
Could you just discuss sort of the influx, I guess, of these American shows that you've sort of acquired through your deal with Top Rank? What impact has this had for yourselves at Sky and working with Top Rank?
Oh, it's been brilliant. It's been absolutely fantastic. So the decision was made to have a 4-year deal with Top Rank and a 4-year deal with Boxer. And obviously, embryonic stages with Boxer, because building a stable and UK-wise and very important, that sort of 8 to 11 slot on a Saturday night. Very different relationship at the moment with Top Rank, who are delivering world-class content almost week in, week out. I mean, I don't know how many shows we've done, 8, 9 already. You're talking, we've seen Shakur Stevenson a couple of times, Inoue, you've seen Lomachenko. Michaela Meyer was brilliant, a brilliant fight the other night. You've got Crawford-Porter this weekend. I mean, it's just, as I said, Lomachenko, Batebiev to come. It's non-stop. I think it's fantastic. So it's blending really well. And the other thing, so Todd DeBerth, thank you so much. It's been fantastic. But the other thing is that he wants to bring some of his fighters over here. It'd be lovely to see, Vasily back or Michaela back or whatever over here. Terrific. And I think what's good is that they've got a great deal with ESPN, Top Rank, which is a huge platform over there. Ben and Boxer have got the Sky Sports platform here. So there's a lot of times we can sort of mix and match and bring fighters, to and fro across the pond. That hasn't really happened a lot, obviously, with the pandemic. But I think 2022 might give us the opportunity to do more of that. I've spent more time here with Ben. We've been, on the phone, I don't know how many times every day for 5 months, and working extremely closely to build a really successful future, both for Boxer and for Sky. It is a new era, so it's going to take time. And we're looking at each show and seeing how we can improve. But it's been a really positive start. We've got great momentum. We've signed some terrific fighters, and we're going to sign more. And it's going to be a big success. But we will keep obviously, we'll always keep on our toes, look at the next moves, look at how we do it, and not rush. But with Top Rank, they're established. So they're already this global powerhouse. They can just deliver us fantastic content. So I think it's a blend which we're really enjoying on Sky. We've got the business behind us. The team are rejuvenated. We're going again, and we're going faster than I thought we would. So, we can't have everything. We lost a lot of fighters when Eddie went to DAZN, and we wish them well. But we've got to concentrate on what we do. We've got an amazing finish to Christmas. We've got the Premier League, in a cracking state. So many teams up there. Yours and my team on Saturday night. Liverpool and Arsenal into the Riakporhe show, which is brilliant. We've got Formula One, nail-biting finish it looks like. You got the cricket, the golf. You got the darts at Ali Pali, which obviously is a massive soft spot for, and that's a huge thing for Sky Sports at Christmas. So lots happening, and we're excited about it all. And 2022 is going to be even better.
Are you expecting Crawford-Porter to be your most viewed US show since the deal with Top Rank began?
I'd be surprised if it wasn't. I mean, it's a great fight, isn't it? One of the best fights that's been put together in the last 2 or 3 years in America. Terence Crawford, a phenomenal pound-for-pound king. Shawn Porter, relentless, incredible sort of world gladiator. Adore Shawn. He's such a great pundit as well. He's fantastic. We worked together on the Errol Spence Kell Brook week and other times, and always dresses so immaculately as well, and then gets in the ring and is just ferocious. I love Shawn Porter. He's got his work cut out against Terence Crawford. Obviously, it's a tough fight for him, but I think it'll be a tough fight for Terence too. I think Mandalay Bay, the Golden Tower, it's got to be up there with the best fights we've put on at that time of night for a long time, and on Sky Sports.
And just finally, a bit off topic, but after news broke last 12 hours or so, Canelo is approved to move up to Cruiserweight to face Ilunga Makabu.
Would you argue against him? Would you argue against anything Canelo does? It's a huge jump. I thought he'd jump into the light heavyweight division and try and take on the likes of Bivol and Batebiev and Joe Smith, but hey, he's fooled us all, and he's gone even higher. I think you should ask Johnny Nelson, my colleague, about what it's like to be a cruiserweight. He knows better than I do. It's mind-boggling, really. But I tell you what, I love Canelo. I love the fact he challenges himself, and he's in the form of his life. So why not?
Why not? Adam Smith, thank you very much for your time, and look forward to this weekend with Riatpool and rolling into Crawford-Porter.
Yeah, look forward to it too. Should be a marathon night on Saturday, so get some sleep beforehand.